Gen Z is coming for us in the housing market. We're talking about it on Today in Mortgages. Hey, what's up, dream makers? Welcome back to Today in Mortgages, where we're talking about what's real, what's hype, and what you should actually be paying attention to out there in the world of real estate and mortgage news. We're talking about Gen Z today. Rich, the generation's coming for us. What do you think?
Yeah, they're coming in hot too.
Yeah, so I pulled an article from, it's actually a survey from Lending Tree today, and we're going to link that article down below. You can check out all the stats for yourself. But you know what? This kind of shocked me. The stat that we pulled is that 15% of mortgage requests are coming from Gen Z. Rich, break down these stats for me because this was actually really shocking to me.
Yeah, so the oldest of the Gen Z, 18 to 25, they occupy about 15% of all potential home buyers out there. And they're buying big. They're buying big in different states, Utah, Texas, Oklahoma. So they're out. They're coming in strong. It's so interesting to see the difference in the generations. Like the millennials were a little bit slower for a lot of reasons. Nothing against the generation, just different times. But the Gen Z kids, they're just coming out hot and ready to go.
They really are, Rich. And what's fascinating to me is that it was talking about, what their average loan size was, what their average down payment size was. I mean, we're talking about 25-year-olds putting down $30,000 on a house. And when I was 25, 22, 20, I mean, it said the average Gen Z home buyer was at 23. And so when I was 23, I was still in my first job. I was making maybe $35,000 a year. And we're talking about a $30,000 down payment. And that's pretty significant. And it tells me that, that maybe they're just making more money. And I need to look that up.
Well,
But
yeah,
yeah.
that is a piece of it. They are making a little bit more money. But, it's one of the things that just pride in ownership. It's one of the things about United States. You want to own your own property, and this generation is getting it. I just think about when I bought my first home, I was 22, and I remember checking the mailbox every single day for my tax return refund so that I could close on my home. So it's just different, and it wasn't that much money. So now
Yeah.
they're putting down a good percentage. Granted, some of it's generational wealth being handed off for down payment, which is, with the cost of homes these days, it's almost required in a lot of areas, but, they're getting after it.
Yeah, so what this article is talking about a little bit here is which cities are most popular. I also found this shocking that Salt Lake City was at the top of the list. I mean, it's one of the most expensive metros. What other things stood out to you, Rich? I'm just interested to know.
With the elevated costs of homes, they're still able to get after it and buy them. That surprised me. It didn't surprise me to see Oklahoma, Birmingham, Alabama. These are markets where the cost of living is lower, cost of, buying a home is lower. So it makes a lot of sense that they're going, especially with work from home. So you have a lot of the Gen Z folks working from home now because a lot are in tech. They're in different fields, but a big tech field, engineering, a lot of things that can be done from home.
Yeah, most definitely. And as I was thinking through some of these generational things when I read this yesterday, I was saying like, okay, Gen Z is kind of marked, the defining mark of them is that they're coming out into this age out of COVID. And so they've seen what all that can look like, what, debt and spending money and, the uncertainty of the market. And they've also had this advantage of a really crazy market coming out of COVID to get high paying jobs. And so maybe that's playing into this a little bit. And also I think this, like you said, the psychology of people just wanting to get after it and that wanting to have that home ownership is giving them the motivation to maybe, defer other things in their lives and concentrate more on their future, more on home buying. And so, you also probably have a lot of people who are, don't have a lot of other responsibilities, like you said, generational wealth. And so, Rich, when we think about this, I mean, we've heard a lot in the past, like millennials are coming, concentrate on millennials. Now we're looking ahead to Gen Z. So how are we talking to our people about, this generational shift that's coming and that will most definitely be, elevated over the next 5 years?
Yeah, it's really no different where, it's great. All the generations are different,
Hmm.
The way you sell to them does change, but in the last, 5 to 6 years, you need to be, as salespeople, especially as mortgage people, we need to be out there educating. And the way you get in front of Gen Z is through social platforms. That's it. I mean, I just take my kids, they're 17. They're the younger part of the Gen Z generation. But unless they see it on TikTok, they don't believe it's true. So, and it goes the other way. Sometimes they see a lot of untrue stuff, but the best way to educate and get out in front of this generation is to get yourself on video, educating, teaching people about homeownership and about mortgages. You got to get out there because that's how they're going to find you.
Yeah, definitely finding ways to connect with younger generations, younger millennials, and now Gen Z is super important to your marketing strategy. And so we want to remind you that we actually have a free marketing guide if you want to get out there and sell yourself better. We've got 5 free ways that you can go out today and get ahead while the market is down. And all 5 of those ways are ways that are going to help you connect with this new generation of home buyers. So you can go check that out at todayinmortgages.com/marketing. So Rich, I want to get your take on this. What are your final thoughts on this article?
It's all factual stats, and we're seeing it happen every single day. It's a great article. It just shows you that sometimes all the negative news articles that we're seeing, home prices are up, rates are up. Some people just don't care. Some people want to own a home, and if they can afford it, they're getting after it and they're doing it. And it's nice to see the young kids doing it because this is the number one vehicle to wealth in the United States, real estate. So we can't forget that. And I think this younger generation is seeing it.
Maybe they also have the benefit of never having gotten to experience low rates like we did, and so they're saying, what the heck, it is what it is. We're going to move forward and make it happen. So really cool, Rich. Thank you for your input. I just want to remind you guys out there that Rich and I are part of Network Funding, the best network in mortgages. And Rich brings the goods like this: market analysis, tips, tricks, marketing expertise to our people every day. And if you're interested to know how you can become a part of the network, click the grow link below and we will get you set up with all the information you need to know to get a peek inside the network and see how we do business. So if you want to help us out on the podcast, you can like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much again for watching. Thanks for listening. Rich, thanks for your time, and appreciate you hanging out with us on Today in Mortgages. Today in Mortgages is produced by Network Funding LP, which is an equal housing lender, NMLS 2297. The content of this program is meant to be a commentary on mortgage and real estate news, and any discussion of rates and/or products should not be taken as an individual mortgage or home buying advice or pricing estimates. And any commentary on this show should not be considered a promise to make a loan. All applicants for a loan must qualify, and you should consult a professional regarding your individual loan scenarios for your financial situation. Visit our website at nflp.com/licenses for all state licensing and other legal information.